Plebo.
Oh, not so bad. Very tired.
A bit of an early one this week.
It is indeed. I am a sleepy boys.
Sleepy boy, super sleepy.
Getting the Australian crowd.
I think this is like the weird time where we're not getting any crowd. Australia's going to bed and England's waking up.
Australia is not going to bed right now. Oh,
I don't know what fucking time it is over there.
They're like 12 hours. I don't think they're quite 12 hours ahead, are they?
Wouldn't surprise me.
So look, this is the first Google of the day.
30 seconds into the podcast, I'm sure they're like 12 hours.
Australia.
I should probably put my phone on mute.
Time zone. We're BST now, aren't we? British Summertime.
Yeah. You've also, we're only 30 seconds in and you've already made your first boo-boo.
What?
You've not updated the fucking name, you twats. Ding dong.
I am.
Have you even decided what you want to cut?
Yeah, fuck it.
Ah, fucking hell.
Alright. I'll just copy that so I'll type it out again. I'm nearly there. Do.
Boom, boom.
Fuck. I did it. I saved it.
We did it. We did it.
We did it. Yay.
So come on, tell me about Australia being.
Checking.
I'm gonna go with it's 10:30 at night.
How far ahead is Australia?
I think it's 12 hours. Actually, I think it depends at which coast.
Fucking coasts. It's ridiculous. Hate it. Stupid. 9 hours ahead of the UK. 8.5. That's the further away bit. It didn't tell me what side it was, and it must be east, the east coast, or be 9 hours ahead. 2 hours fucking difference on the other side.
Told you, didn't I? It's like a...
Yeah. Makes sense because the place is fucking huge. But has a really small population. I know that I think Australia has a population of somewhere in the realms of 14 million. Florida has a population of like 16 million.
Yeah, I think New York.
It's either that or like 30 and 32. It's somewhere around there. But yeah, Florida, the tiny place, has such a higher population density.
Well, you said like the small place, but it's bigger than Britain.
Yeah, but then Australia is how many Britons?
Yeah, but no one lives in the middle of Australia. It's all just like fucking desert and wasteland.
Yeah.
It's basically Mad Max.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But you look at America, and America's pretty much that. All the major cities are around the outside. And then you look at Canada, and there's no major cities further than like a couple of 100 miles from the border.
Yeah, no, Canada's got a really small population as well, relative to its size. It's tiny. I'd like to go to Canada. Canada seems nice. So long. I might actually, because that's some... I'm generally not big on holidays. It's a bit like being robbed on holidays.
Yeah, it wasn't great, that one, was it? Coming back and
No, yeah, coming home to a house that was robbed, like, kind of puts you off a little bit.
Yeah, I think...
Oh, we've actually got fucking someone in the chat. I like the cold. I don't like the heat. Summertime's coming.
You said that you like the cold, but Their cold isn't our cold. There is like fucking extreme weather cold.
No, but I've never experienced that. And
You
I'd
don't
like
want to. It's horrible.
I do want to. You don't get to tell me what I want to do.
No, you don't. I know you well enough to know that you don't want to experience minus 40 degrees at fucking 9 o'clock in the morning when you're trying to go out and fucking buy some milk from the shop.
Another benefit of Canada is they also use the metric system. None of this Fahrenheit. Like, honestly, because I'm working at the barbecue place as well, and
Yeah.
barbecue is systematically done with Fahrenheit. It's just the way it's done.
Yeah.
Most of the barbecue, like the barbecue they're trying to do, it's American barbecue, so all the temperatures and stuff and books that we read from, it's all in Fahrenheit. And it's kind of a faff to figure out the actual formula for it, because it's like, times it by 1.8 and add 32. That's Celsius to Fahrenheit. That's annoying. So I'm honestly considering getting a tattoo of the conversions. Just like, you know, like 0, 40, 100, 180, 170, you know, all the...
Just having a bit of a table on your arm with this many Fahrenheit is this many Celsius.
I'd even go for like cups and like no, because cups are a weird one. Cups are bullshit.
Cups are bullshit.
They are, because the cup measurement, it's not a weight thing. It's volume. So there's no blanket. Oh yeah, a cup of anything is 300 grams. It doesn't work that way. It's a cup of flour weighs as much as a cup of flour does. A cup of sugar weighs as much as a cup of sugar does. It's entirely different, and it's annoying. Because you've got to consider, are you packing it in or not? Like, is it compressed? Is it sieved? Is it what? It's annoying.
Which cup do you use?
The cup measurement is a specific amount.
Oh, is it? You're not just getting like a
mug.
A mug out at cupboard.
No, because then what happens is what happened to my brother in high school, where he went to high school for food tech and made fudge one day. Did not know that cup measurements were a thing, because they're not a thing over here. Especially, 20 years ago, cup measurements are not a thing over here.
Yeah, they're not really a thing over here at the moment.
They are just about, we have measuring cups.
They're enough of a thing that we're vaguely, I don't cook, bake, or friggin' anything, and I'm vaguely aware of it.
Yeah, there's a few cake recipes, I think a chiffon cake. The recipe for that is all in cups, but it's a very simple one. It's like a 3 cups flour, 2 cups butter or whatever. It all just makes sense, but no, it's not a good system. I much prefer the weight because it's exact. Like my brother, he went to make fudge, used this American recipe he managed to find. Yeah. And you got to think, 20 years ago, the internet wasn't great. There weren't nearly as many cooking recipes online because it just wasn't a thing as much. He made fudge, and instead he made fudge syrup. It just didn't set really fucking good, but it wasn't fudge.
That actually tastes really...
It sounds really good, yeah. I know.
It could have, patterned that recipe.
You know, have you ever had... I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Magic Top. It's an ice cream thing. And it's the ice cream, syrup topper that when you pour it on, it then goes hard.
Okay, I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. But I'm not huge on ice cream. For me, ice cream, it's got to be Ben & Jerry's or something. It's got to be something with a significant, thing going on.
I'm not that fussed. I'll have a vanilla. I'll have a Mr. Whippy.
You suit vanilla, Keith. Honestly. You said that, and I didn't... No part of my brain went, no, he's definitely more like a chocolate. No.
It's either that or a mint choc chip.
Mint choc chip is top. Honestly, one of the best, just solo ice creams I've had pretty much ever happened last August. Me and Becca went to a place in Piccadilly Gardens. Just a little, I think it was called Tom Popo.
Okay.
And for dessert, it was like a sugared roti or something
Yeah.
with cinnamon ice cream. You don't like cinnamon at the best of times because you don't like my candle.
That doesn't smell like cinnamon though. That smells like old people. Smells like an old people's home.
Yeah, fucking cinnamon ice cream, but it wasn't just like, because cinnamon can be kind of hot in certain circumstances. Like I like heat, but cinnamon it's a different kind of burn. But no, it was like, like the difference between apples and cooked apples.
Yeah.
It was like that. It was that kind of, like, the cinnamon ice cream on its own was really, really nice, but especially with, like, because it was just kind of like a pancakey, bready dessert thing. Especially alongside that, it was just like a cinnamon roll. It was fucking beautiful.
Yeah, no, I quite like a cinnamon roll. What were them? You used to be able to get cereals. I don't know if they still do them. And it was like a cinnamony type breakfast. That was quite nice.
Curiously cinnamon.
Possibly, yeah.
The little squares.
Little squares.
And the advert was the little cinnamon square eating the other. Yeah, it's just cinnamon toast crunch, but
yeah,
it's what was brought over here and rebranded. Honestly, very similar thing. Like, it's ingrained in my mind, like fucking in there, like nothing else. 2002, I want to say 2003, no 2001. Monsters Inc. releases.
Yeah.
This isn't like the Golden Nugget story. It's slightly
different.
This is a better story. Having a wander around Asda with my parents, because we shopped at Asda at the time, because obviously we thought we were better off than we were. Wandering around Asda, and I see there's a new cereal up, and it's Monsters Inc. cereal, and I'm like, oh, that looks fun. And my parents like give me the same warning. It's like,
you get one for the week.
You get one for the week, and if you don't like it, you have to fucking eat it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I want it. Yeah, it sounds nice. I ate the entire box when I got home. I just sat in front of the TV, fucking munching away, not even in a bowl, just out of the packet. And it was just curiously cinnamon toast crunch. That's all it was, and it had like little Mike Wazowski faces and shit on it. It was really fucking good.
Mike Wazowski. Turn in your paperwork. Whatever the fuck she says. That big ass slug.
Yeah, the sluggo.
The big sluggo. Yeah. Gotta love your cereal.
I do love cereal. I really enjoy cereal. But again, it's like the toasty maker. It comes in waves. Like
I've had some Cocoa Pops in the cupboard for at least a month now.
Oh, I've made some Cocoa Pops.
Just very occasionally have a bowl.
Yeah, I don't do knockoff cereal. It's something that I'm quite adamant on.
It's like one of the very few things that you're adamant about.
I want name brand cereal. I want good toilet paper. And I want good bread. Don't so much care about the butter. The butter takes a second.
When you say butter, do you mean butter or margarine?
Either. I don't. We get. It's fucking called Nordpack.
It's nice. Very, very salty.
I don't mind the salt. Also, I use it for cooking, so the
so I don't mind the saltiness. I just can't be doing with leaving bloody butter out on the side so you can use it.
It's Juxtapals on Spotify or Apple Music, isn't it?
Yeah, or YouTube. Which reminds me, I should probably upload last week's episode.
Yeah, I can't complain at you. Like, no, I'm not perfect. It's fine.
So, yeah, it's you know what I could do with right now?
What?
I'm probably going to buy some on the way home. Some crumpets.
We normally have crumpets in. Like, normally, like...
It's been a good while since I've had a good crumpet.
You know, I really enjoyed... Aldi do a thing. Like, they do it all the time. Oh, you can take a pack of ours, apparently. We've got some crumpets in.
Sorted.
Yeah. Aldi do a weird thing that, well, like seasonal stuff, like not so much crumpets, but mince pies. They'll just have 5 different kinds.
Why are they called mince pies? Because there's no fucking mince in them.
Right, basically, in olden times, when you were making a pie and you were a dirty, filthy commoner, you couldn't afford enough meat to fill a pie. So you'd fill it out with raisins and a few nuts and other dried fruit, because dried fruit was cheap and it kept.
Yep.
So you'd like fry up all your meat, chuck a load of fruit in with it, all the dried fruit that you had.
Okay.
And it was called a mince pie because it was mince meat. Then, over the course of time, it just kind of transformed to like the fruit mix with the nuts and the spices. That just became referred to as mincemeat because it was the filler out for a mince pie. Then over time, like the actual enjoyment of the sweet aspect of it took over. So yeah, fuck it, just scrap the meat out of it. Just use the mince pie.
Good knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'll do a thing where it's like, okay, mince pies. Yeah, we'll fuck around with them. Like they did a chocolate orange one a few years ago that was actually pretty nice. Cognac, all that shit. They fuck around with them like massively. But they did it with hot cross buns this year for Easter. They were really good. I don't even think we got them from Aldi, but we got them from Co-op. They were brioche and chocolate. Yeah, they were really nice. The only downside with brioche, like if it's a bun, bread, doesn't matter what, when it gets hot, it gets all bendy and floppy. Like it's very difficult to get it to actually crisp up.
Yeah.
Getting brioche, anything to actually crisp up, you have to toast it or fry it, and then leave it until it's practically cold, and then it re-solidifies because there's that much butter in it. It's an interesting thing. Whenever like there was one time at my old job where I had to make a cake, but we didn't have any cocoa powder in. We only had chocolate.
Yeah.
But I had to make a chocolate cake. So I've got all these chocolate chips, and I'm like, okay. Did a quick search online. I was like, shit, I can't find a recipe for chocolate cake, but using chocolate as the chocolate flavouring as opposed to cocoa powder, because all of them just use cocoa powder because it's convenient and you can just sweeten around it. But I couldn't find a recipe that used chocolate, and I was like, oh, fuck. And then you've got to think, like, when you make a cake or whatever, if you're trying to sub something out, you have to think, what does that ingredient do?
Yeah.
What does it actually do? Like, so for me...
Is it a bonding agent? Does it rise it? Does it... whatever?
Yeah. So, I'm like, okay, I'm adding chocolate. Like, part of the reason a cake firms up is because there's the egg. The egg, basically... The raisin agent raises it, the egg goes, alright, I'm cooking now, and kind of solidifies up as the protein. And then when you first take it out of the oven, it's still really, really soft, because all the butter that's inside it also hasn't done anything. Like, if there's any butter in this cake, it's not solidified up. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll have to find a recipe that does have butter in it. And I'll have to take some of the butter out, because the chocolate's going to do the exact same job. When it's warm, it goes all soft, and then as it cools down, it's going to re-solidify. So I'm going to have to take that into consideration. So I just about managed it. Like, the cake I made wasn't perfect, and I overcooked it and it went dry, but it tasted nice. I was like, alright, that's close enough. But you've also got to think, like, okay, does sugar do anything else in this cake other than just sweeten it? Because I'm adding a load of chocolate to it. Because when you add cocoa powder's not sweetened. Like, especially the stuff that you buy in the kitchen, it's not sweetened. So alright, so I'm adding a load of chocolate to it. If I add the same amount of sugar, it's going to be way too sweet. I have to pull the sugar back, but how much do I pull it back by? A load of, like, I'd say mental maths, but it's not. It's just mental going, probably this.
Probably.
That's the wisdom versus intelligence thing. But there's a drastic difference between wisdom and intelligence, and it's intelligence is knowing for a fact, oh, I'll do all this because I've read it and I've been told it. Wisdom is I know from experience this would be too sweet with if I don't cut back on the sugar, and then trying to figure out, okay, I'll cut down by the sugar by this much because I know from experience that this is how it works.
Yeah.
I forgot what we're talking about. We're talking about brioche.
We were talking about
hot
brioche.
cross buns.
Yeah, hot cross buns and brioche and chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I was going to say when we talked about ice cream as well. It's like I'm not big on chocolate as a flavouring for stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not big on Victoria Sponge either. Like, Victoria Sponge is just a very boring plain cake that doesn't interest me. But a really nice vanilla cake with like vanilla frosting or whatever, I'm very excited. Chocolate cake, it's just the standard now that it's gotten boring and it's mediocre and it tends to be dry and there's no effort put in.
I don't mind a dry cake. Because if I'm going to have a cake, I'm going to have it either, well, depending on the cake, I'm going to have it with a cup of tea or some milk. Doesn't have to be moist. I'm already getting my moisture from somewhere else.
If I am having chocolate flavoured anything in any sense, I'm having it with a glass of milk.
Yeah, I remember.
I've got a pack of biscuits here that I had last night, and I had that with a glass of milk. If I have a chocolate cake, like if Becca gets a cake and she brings it home, and then we've eaten, and then like a few hours later she goes, "Oh, do you want some of that cake?" I'm like, "Yep." And she knows the glass of milk as well. Otherwise, I'll be getting that one.
Just imagining Becca coming in going, here's your cake, sweetie. Where's my fucking milk, bitch? Where's my fucking milk?
I mean, I've said it, but only ever as a joke.
Fucking sit down, you useless bastard. I'm gonna get my fucking milk. Sit here, look in the fucking mirror, and think about your life.
Yeah, no matter what chocolate-based product, I'm having it with a glass of milk.
Yeah, I think you might have mentioned that before. I can't say I blame you.
No, it's it also means like, and it's a bad thing, but it means you can eat more.
Yeah.
Because if you eat too much chocolate, you get sick pretty quick. If you have a glass of milk, you can just keep going.
My dad always cracks me up because he must drink at least 5 or 6 cups of tea a day.
I've been there.
But it's gotten to the point now where he's trying to cut down on his sugar. He's now retired, he's not up and about as much, so he's trying to cut out the sugar. And his brews, fair enough. If you don't mind brew without the sugar, he's getting used to it.
Yeah.
But always has it with 2 biscuits.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm going, well, just make a choice. Either get rid of the biscuits or get rid of the sugar. I'd rather get rid of the biscuits and just have a sugar.
Yeah,
but he has like 2 biscuits with every cup.
Yeah, because if you're having like a nice like, what biscuits does he have actually? Is it?
I don't fucking know. I don't.
Because if you're having a hobnob, because what I'm thinking is like, you know, when you're a kid and you've got like can of Coke, packet of sweets, and then you have like a load of the sweets, and you're like, oh yeah, that's all sweet, and then you drink the Coke, and it's like, oh, the Coke tastes kind of bitter now, in comparison to how sweet like,
yeah,
my mouth is tasting, whatever. So I'm thinking like, especially if like you're trying to cut down on the sugar in your brew, and then you have like a really sweet biscuit, like Becca calls them nice biscuits. Nah, the nice biscuits, the biscuits that say nice on them, little rectangle ones, the ones that are like covered in like sugar. Yeah. They're really nice, but I imagine those, if you had one of those and you're like, that's a nice biscuit, and then sip your tea, that tea's going to be extra bitter. Extra bitter.
I don't get it. Just have half a sugar. Get half spoon.
I tend to have half, like no matter what cup of tea I have in whatever size mug, it tends to be like half a spoon of sugar.
Because it's like a mixture of sugar and sweetener. It's like, oh no, you can taste the sweetener. I'm like, how many sugars are you putting in that you can taste the sweet, like that horrible like sweetness?
No, you can hunt you. When was the last time you had sweetener?
It's been a while, but I've used it a few times. I've used it enough to go, I can't taste the sweetener in this.
It's a different sweetness. Like I can just kind of tell. And also, like, if you have two sugars, do you have two sugars?
No, I have one. I've gone down to one.
You might not. But do you remember from when you had two sugars that, like, the tea gets a little syrupy?
Yeah.
The tea gets a little thicker with the sugar in it. Sweetener doesn't do that. So it's just like a psychological thing where you go, oh, this tea is sweet, but it doesn't have that syrupy aspect. It's sweetener, and then like you kind of go off of that, and you're like, oh yeah, it does taste a bit.
Yeah. It's like, well, I'm going, oh, well, you can dip your biscuit in if you've not got sugar and it makes your tea sweeter. Well, then just put sugar in.
Yeah.
There's no like, oh, well, I'm going to cut one but not the other. If you're trying to cut out sugar when you're having a brew, just cut it out.
Yeah, no. It's also, I find, like, I'll not really have any snack stuff for ages. I'll just, like, not even being strict with myself, I'll just find that I'm like, I'll just eat at meals. I don't really have anything in between.
Yeah.
That I'm sticking. I just stick to that. But then as soon as I start, like, I'll be like, oh, I'll treat myself. I'll get a cake or something for after food one night. Instantly after that, I just snap into getting used to it. Like the following day, I'll be like, oh, I've just had lasagna or whatever, and I'm like, oh, but I could go for something.
Yeah. I don't know if it's because I'm usually uninspired with my cooking, but I think I just prefer to snack, which is not healthy.
I'd say generally snacking throughout the day is better for you. Like not actually having dedicated meals, but just having like 7 or 8 little snacks throughout the day. It keeps you. It means you're not refueling yourself every like 5 hours. You've constantly got something for your body to go on. But I don't think your snacking is the
regular snacking.
The kind that is healthy.
Yeah, I'm not sat there snacking on fucking bananas.
No. I like bananas, but like honestly, it's like cereal and toasties. I'll just go for like a month where I'm like, yeah, bananas, apples and shit. Fuck yeah.
I like the taste of bananas. I don't like the fact that they make the roof of my mouth itchy.
Yeah, banana allergy will do that to you.
Yeah.
Are you also allergic to latex?
I don't think so.
Might be worth checking.
Possibly, yeah. Why can you die from that? Or?
No, it hurts and itches. But if you go into surgery and doctors have got like latex gloves on and they finger inside of you and then you come to and you're like, why does my stomach itch? That could be troubling. But yeah, banana and latex allergies apparently go hand in hand.
Did you know all bananas are clones?
Yes, I think we talked about this.
Yeah, that's weird. But yeah, itchy mouth, horrible.
I watched it was like one of those like educational kid shows, but actually one of like the more fun ones. It was a cartoon, and it's talking about how it showed it in a very positive light. I don't think it was quite as positive as the cartoon showed it to be. But it was showing how there was a vanilla plantation, and one of the people who worked there, who was a different colour to the man who ran the farm, he says, I'm going to quit because I'm not paid enough, I'm not happy in the work that I'm doing. So he fucks off and he goes, alright, I want to ruin this farm before I leave. So he takes a needle and he goes to every vanilla pod and he stabs it, like through the stamen, just stabs it with this needle. He's like, yeah, that'll fuck up all that vanilla. It doesn't. That's actually 100% what vanilla requires to pollinate. So then, like, the following day comes around and, like, all of them have bloomed. And then the guy who runs the place and definitely doesn't own anyone congratulates the guy and like gives him a promotion. I don't think it went down like that in real life, but that's what happened in the cartoon. But yeah, that's the reason why like vanilla pods are really, really expensive, because they all need to be hand pollinated by a person, and they all mature at the same time. There is one day a year where vanilla is collected.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Mental.
Well, there's one day that each farmer do it, but like, because different areas it'll mature at different rates. It's like technically in the UK you can walk at the speed of spring. If you count spring as like arbitrary time, as like when the first daffodil blooms.
Yep.
The first daffodil blooms in like properly, like they all start going, happens in the south 2 weeks before it does at the very top of Scotland. Takes about 2 weeks for spring to properly.
It takes 2 weeks to walk from the deep south to the deep north.
Yeah.
It's long 2 fucking weeks.
Yeah.
A lot of walking that.
Okay, now.
Buy me stuff.
How's your week been? We're like half an hour in and I've not asked you how's your week been.
Yeah, not too bad. Stressful. Work stuff. It's Ramadan now, so no takeaways during the day.
No takeaways during the day. Imagine the smoking area's pretty vacant.
It is. It's bliss. I love it.
Yeah, nobody about.
Nobody about at the same time I am. I can just sit there, put my headphones in, and the weather is getting a lot nicer now. Like the other day I was on lunch and sat in the smoking area for half an hour just listening to the Fleetwood Mac in the sunshine, chilling out. It was a great lunch. I couldn't complain.
They don't happen very often, but especially like now, I don't get a lunch break. It's just very different. Like in my job, I don't have a scheduled lunch break. I don't have scheduled breaks. I get paid for all of my breaks because I might not get to take them.
Yeah.
Legally, if I really wanted to, I could say to my bosses, "Hey, halfway through the day, I want a half hour." And they'd be like, yeah, that's fine. Perfectly reasonable. Don't worry about it. But I don't need to, because I can go out the back whenever I want.
Yeah.
Like me and Mick, Mick says, oh, we've got an order at past. When can I do the next one? Like, depending on how big each individual order is. And he's like, oh, can you squeeze any more in here? Like, sometimes we'll get a weird one where it's like, oh, we've got this one at past, and this one is coming to pick it up, but they don't want it at 2:45, they want it at 10:10. Can you squeeze another one in between that? And I'll just go, no, I'll just go outside 5 minutes, I'll take a quick break. And that's fine. I'm gonna sneeze.
Bless you. Bless you.
I'm back.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, so that's the convenience of my work, is I can just nip out whenever. Like, if it's really, really busy, you don't notice that you need to sit down until you do. And then that's all you think about.
Until you're that tired that you're going, my legs hurt, can I please sit down?
I tend to only notice the legs when I stop. And there'll just be a lull, and I'll go out the front of the bar, and I'll lean behind the bar, maybe get a drink, and I'll lean and I'll go, oh yeah, there it is.
Oh.
Tim's been in the past couple of days. Basically, like, he's on furlough, but he wants to get back into it. And the bosses have gone, we can't afford to pay you. So we're not asking you to come in. You understand this, right, Tim? And he goes, yeah, no, I get it. It's fine. He knows he's not being paid, and he's perfectly fine with it. Because he's still getting his furlough, so it makes no difference.
Yeah.
But him on his first day, he was like, yeah, no, my legs hurt now. That's what you get for sitting on your ass for nigh on a year.
Pretty much, yeah. Not that I can say much. The vast majority of my day I'm sat on my ass.
Yeah, the pub I work at has now been closed for longer than it has been open.
Yeah, that's not good.
No. I say scraping by, it's slightly better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're not quite comfortable, but you're not quite scraping by.
My bosses did mention that, like, me and Mick, because we're both working, we get the pay increase. people on furlough aren't getting it until they go back. Which I get.
Yeah.
100%. Like, even if I was on the other side of it, I'd like to think I'd be like, yeah, no, I get it, it's fine. Because you've not started. Have you got your P60 yet?
No.
It'll be in the next 12 days. So.
Probably.
Because I might actually get a rebate. I'm not going to get excited for it, but I have... Throughout like the first lockdown, I was getting... I want to say... probably 500 quid every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now I'm on like 250 quid every 2 weeks. And I've been on that for 6 months almost.
Yeah.
So I think I might just about get a rebate.
Okay.
Which would be nice.
It would be nice.
And there's been no announcements of them not doing tax rebates for whatever reason, so...
Well, I imagine that over the next 12 months that we're going to have to pay more in tax anyway.
I can imagine. I won't begrudge it. But I just hope that they just put it on, as opposed to taxing weird stuff, just tax bought things. Like fucking biscuits, I don't know. Just like food and shit and like holidays.
They can't fucking tax VAT shit anymore. It's already at 20%.
No, they can and they will. No, it's a... I wouldn't care. Whack it up to 25%. Even just temporarily. Like, just tell me it's temporary and then never put it back. I don't care. But it's an easy way to, like, recoup funds.
Yeah, I suppose.
Because people aren't not going to buy things.
That's true, but, like, it's already gone up, like, 5% over the last... Like, when we were in school, it was, like, 15%.
No, when we were in school, it was 17.5. It was all the maths questions. It's gone up 2.5% in the entire time I have known it to be the... The entire time I have been aware of VAT, it's gone up 2.5%.
I think it went up to 17.5 when we started high school, or roughly about when we started high school. It was 15%.
I think it'll have been probably a little bit before that. I think it was probably recession 1. So like 2006, a little bit before.
Yeah.
Or, as it was referred to at the time over here, the credit crunch.
Crunch. Shove your credit up your ass.
It just made me think of chocolate.
Why?
You know, like Nestle Crunch, that chocolate bar.
Oh, right, okay.
Like, any time it was said, I was like, yeah, that's like a cereal or something.
They're just crunching up chocolate.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Might have to get something on the way to work. I'm actually kind of hungry.
But, yeah, it's been a bit busy at work. Everyone keeps calling in. We didn't have enough people on the phones yesterday. That was fun.
Oh dear.
Busy boy.
You busy or TFC busy?
Help to Save busy. Yeah.
It's middle of the month though, I wouldn't have thought.
New payment system.
Yeah, no, I remember now.
I think I remember you mentioned it to you last week. And plus I'm like...
1991 it went up to 17.5.
Did it?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I think we were in high school when it went up to 20%. I want to say it was like year 8, year 9.
Possibly.
I'm sure we'll get it messaged to us.
I like it how, like, Becca is...
Fact checker.
Like, like, she's our version of Jamie from the Joe Rogan show.
2011. So that was...
Yeah, just finished high school at that point.
I started year 11 in year 11, I think.
Yeah, you're the year below me.
Yeah.
I finished in 2010.
Yes.
I keep forgetting that you're like a year younger than me.
Yeah, is it like now it's not significant, but at the time it would have been.
I think it's just the grey hairs. I just see the grey hairs and
very Very grey-haired.
I just presume that you're a couple of years older than me because I've started getting greys. Not very many, just the odd one.
Have you seen that picture on my Instagram that I posted? Which full on line, like, ridiculous. It's not okay.
Yeah, but you went grey at like fucking 12 or something ridiculous.
I did. I have had grey hair since I've had hair, and I've had hair since I was 4.
I've been going grey since 4. You sound like such an old fucking man.
I mean, it's true. Like, no, like, I've always had like multicolored hair. Like, my hair has just a lot of ginger in it, and especially when I was growing up, I didn't have hair until I was like 3 or 4. Like, I started nursery, grew hair a month beforehand. That's how it worked.
What do you mean you didn't have any hair?
Didn't have any. I was bald until I was 3.
What, was your mum shaving your head, or
No.
did you just
No,
not
just-
grow any hair?
Just didn't grow any.
For fuck's sake.
Every picture of me is like a full-on baby for like a couple of years. Uncle Festive, nothing.
For being born to 3 years old, I didn't grow any hair. For fuck's sake.
That's what it is.
I was a bald toddler.
Yes. And then when I did grow hair, I was blonde for a little while until, like, I want to say like 7. So 3 years in. And then my hair went brown, but I had like a halo of blonde still.
Oh god.
Yeah. I've always had grey hairs, but now they're just more significant and angry.
Yeah. I used to. There's pictures of me at maybe 4 or 5 years old, where I've like shaved my head, like really short, but just these corners here were just went blonde. So I'd like 2 blonde patches there, and the rest of it were brown. No idea why.
I've got alopecia, mate.
I probably do. But no, it just went. Well, I don't think it was alopecia. Alopecia is when your hair starts falling out.
Yeah, and it grows back like white.
Wasn't white, it was blonde though.
I'm colourblind. I don't give a shit.
You're just an anomaly, aren't you? Really, of all these weird
my
things.
My mum and like 2 of my aunties are colourblind. Like, that supposedly is not possible.
What, that you've got people in your family that are colourblind?
No, women aren't supposed to be colourblind. It's like women have more like visual cones or something to help process colour, and it's always brought up like when you learn about colourblindness. It's like, oh yeah, women aren't colourblind. No, my mum's fucked. I'm fucked. My sister's pretty fucked.
I didn't know that. I just thought anybody could be colourblind.
No, mum's had arguments with people about being colourblind, and they're like, no, you can't be. I'm like, they're my eyes. They don't work.
They don't fucking work. Yeah, I just presumed that it was a genetic thing that more blokes tended to be colourblind, but women
It probably is. It's just one of those like non-facts that women can't be colourblind. Let's have a look, because that could be.
It's like blokes tends to be more males that have dyslexia than women. It's just genetically men are more likely to have dyslexia or dyspraxia.
Okay. Colour blindness isn't common in females because there's a low likelihood that a female will inherit both genes required for the condition. Fair enough.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I think it's a genetic thing as well that they're less likely to have ADHD and dyslexia and dyspraxia. And other sorts of brain disorders.
Apparently that's a diagnosis issue.
I think part of it is diagnosis, because women tend to hide the ADHD a lot better than blokes.
Or what we're being told, fact check, is that honestly probably a lot of it is that the definition of an ADHD is young boy running about. So that for years has been the characterization of that's what ADHD is.
Yeah.
You sat down and you did your work and you did good in school. You can't have ADHD. Oh, but I've reached college and now I just can't fucking read. I can't pay attention and I have all these nervous tics and whatever. And all these stim things. Like, no, you didn't run around and bite people. No, you don't have ADHD.
Yeah. Do you remember Suzanne? Suzanne Arden?
Black hair, tall, slim lady?
Yeah.
Yep.
She has ADHD. She has the occasional tic as well.
Yeah.
It's a jaw thing.
I find her whenever I tap my feet, but not actively tapping them, just I wiggle them to the beat of whatever is going on.
Yeah. I don't have ADHD. I'm just dyspraxic and dyslexic. I can't read, I can't write, and I can't pick shit up.
Or catch shit.
Or catch it. But somehow I can play football to a half decent standard, which is weird.
I think with dyspraxia, it's like to an extent when you gain the muscle memory, it kind of sets in.
Yeah.
It's like dyspraxia people. If you just went off the diagnosis, they're like, oh, so I just can't play guitar then. But I'm sure there's plenty of people that it's all
muscle memory and stuff.
It's gaining the muscle memory, and I suppose it's very specifically a hand-eye coordination thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But over time, you're less relying on the hand-eye part. It's more the instinctive.
Yeah. It's like with dyslexia, struggling to spell and stuff. It's you can learn how to spell, but I'm going to have to get a word and spell it 1,000 times before it's going to sink in.
By that point, the word no longer means what it means anymore.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just a strange one.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But it's great that we have Google at work. More times I've been emailing people and gone, you spelled that word wrong. I've gone, spell check. I'm not sure if it's that spelling, or that spelling. Yeah. Which spelling is it? Fuck it, Google it. Google all three.
I once, I was in year 4. I'd just moved schools, and I was an idiot. Like, must have been a fucking moron, because I was just sat there trying to write something, and I went, I've forgotten how to spell something, and it's really, like, I just couldn't, I had no concept of how to look for it in a dictionary. I had no fucking idea how to look for this word in the dictionary, because I just couldn't fucking think of it. The word was I. Like, I. Me. I. Not EYE. The individual capital letter I. I'd forgotten.
Jesus.
Just, my brain was like, no.
Broken.
Yeah.
That's a broken
And
brain.
that's not something, like, if you forget the word I, how are you supposed to look like a... Like, I asked the teachers, like, oh, how do I spell I? And they're like, look up in the dictionary. I was like, I have no concept of how to do that. I don't know where to start.
Yeah, that's broken brain moment right there.
Yeah.
That's a super broken brain moment.
It might not have been I, it could have been I'm. But either way, it's not better.
Smidge better, but even then, it's not greatly better.
I don't understand the. I'll use them, and I get annoyed when people don't. But I don't understand the need for apostrophes anymore. In the context of missing letters.
So I am, all that sort of.
What's the point? I don't need to know that there's letters that might have been there, because they're not there.
Yeah, it's its own word now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I once I can't remember what it was, again, this is just one of those memories that just sticks in your head for no fucking reason. But I remember I must have been like 6 or 7, and I had thought of a sentence in my head in which the word haven't made sense, but the phrase have not made the sentence not work properly. And I can't remember what the sentence was. But it was just like, yeah, have not in that sentence just doesn't fit right.
Yeah.
Haven't does. It just fits in the sentence really well. Like, have not just made the sentence not work. And that shouldn't be, because they're the same thing.
Yeah.
They're the same thing, just shortened down a bit. Also, realistically, you're not saving yourself much time. You're saving yourself a space, but not a character hit on the keyboard.
Pretty much.
You're saving very little with haven't. Although when you say have not, it sounds a bit poncy, sounding like trying to prove something.
I have not had sexual relations with that woman.
Exactly.
You're like, yeah, it definitely has.
Yeah, but if you went to me, it's like, oh, Callum, have you been to that takeaway down the road? I have not. Oh, why? What's wrong with it? Nothing.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I just have not.
I have not.
Oh, why is there something up with it? Do you not like the food they do?
Are you racist? Do you not like the guy? What's going on?
But if you go, oh, Callum, have you tried that new takeaway down the road? I'm like, no, I haven't yet. No, I haven't. Or up north, as I think we should spell it, HAN''T.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
No,
Fuck the H off as well. AN''T.
Just I ain't.
Have you seen Liam recently?
No, I ain't.
No.
Ain't, no.
We just don't like words up here. Noises. Let's just go for noises.
Noises.
Grunts.
Well, that's all words are really, just noises.
They are, but they're relatively specific noises.
Yeah. I think it's a Peter Kay bit where he talks about, is it Peter Kay? Where he's like, the bad, the ugly, the this, that. The good.
I think that's a Michael McIntyre one, because he's taking the piss out of us, but it doesn't work because he doesn't know how it works. It's referred to as the glottal stop, where, oh, Callum, where are you going? Oh, I'm going to the pub.
Yeah.
It can be the eradication of 1 or 2 words. Where are you going? I'm going to the pub. That's getting rid of to and the. T. It's a single letter.
Yeah.
Like, to an extent, I can accept that you're saying T-U-T, going to the pub. But it's not quite fully pronounced, it's T.
Yeah.
It's like T-E nothing T. It's interesting. I find it interesting, but also I don't know if I am autistic or whatever, but there's a thing with autistic people and getting like special interest, very specific things that they really get into. Like I had a friend from Oxfam who his things were he liked wrestling, he liked Halo, and he liked Warhammer. That's it. He's gonna know everything about it.
Yeah, that's the thing with. Well, I suppose it depends. Where on the spectrum you are, but from the autistic people that I've met, they either don't like something, or they're obsessed with it and will learn everything about it.
But there was a lot of times where, like, I would get quite into something as a kid, and then one of 2 things had happened: either nobody would be interested, and I'd feel like I couldn't talk about it, or I'd be starting to get interested in something, and I would be heavily corrected on multiple occasions, to the point where I didn't want to learn about it anymore.
Give me an example.
I can't think of anything specific. It'll have been like I'll have read a book. Like I'll have started reading a book or something, and I've been like kind of interested, and I'll go, oh yeah, I really like this, I like this character, they're like this, and they'd be like, no, they're not. They're like this. They're just like heavily corrected to the point where I'm like, okay, well, it also comes from like a weird... Like, we've talked about how I'm just not competitive whatsoever, but also I kind of am. In the sense of, like, if I can't know everything about something, there's no point in me knowing about it or getting interested. Because I don't like being obtusely corrected.
It's why I think we have mentioned it previously. It's kind of why you didn't like doing English at school, because it's all very objective.
Well, it's not objective. It's subjective.
Subjective.
And that's me correcting someone for fucking English. Yeah, no, maths. It is correct or it is incorrect. Full stop, that's it. End of story. 2 plus 2 is 4 unless you go and fuck around with other magic numbers and talking about different aspects of 2, and 2.0 recurring plus 2.0 recurring is 4. That's just how it is.
We were doing the family quiz the other week. In the general knowledge, there were a couple of math questions. The first one was, what's the power of 3? And the other one was, what's 10% of 20? I got the 10% thing straight off. I'm like...
I can't think of what a power is.
I was the exact same. I'm like, the power of 3? Fucking... Is it electricity? What the fuck are you asking me?
Triangle!
Triangle! Square!
Yeah, I can't think
fucking
of what
electricity.
It's like, to the power of, I get, but...
Yeah, so it's like 3 times 3 times 3.
Oh,
but I totally forgot that. I don't know.
Yeah, I understand, like, 3 to the power of 3, I understand. 2 to the power of 3, I understand. I didn't realise that the power of 3 was a term.
Might not be. Might just be me being thick. But
Yeah,
I was like, I don't know. Fucking electricity. Gas. Is it gas powered?
It's just... What's the fuel triangle? No, the fire triangle.
Yeah. I was like completely confused by a basic math question.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, I don't use it.
Like, honestly, I keep thinking about, like, going and reading up on maths because I'm annoyed that I don't remember any of it. I really, really didn't care in year 10, 11.
Oh.
I really didn't care.
That's the thing. I've only retained the maths that is useful in day-to-day life.
Like, honestly, the grades I got in high school, I could have got the exact same grades in year 9.
Yeah.
I gave so little of a shit year 10 and 11.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think it's probably because, thinking back, like, I used to get, like, not nervous tics by any means, but, like, I would, my dad just called them, like, bad habits. And it'd be like, it's a really weird one, but the sensation of, like, looking up and around and, like, drying out the wet bits of your eyes, just, like, going and looking around, it, like, just temporarily dries out bits of your eyes that don't often get dry, and just exposing them to the air that it hasn't done in a while. I used to do that all the time. I used to, not, like, specifically growl like Chewbacca, but it was just, like, a sensation that was pleasant of, like, growling at the back of my throat because it just, like, dislodged, like, phlegm or some shit. Just in a way that felt good, I guess. But my dad was so hard on me for, like, every little thing that I stopped doing them. So I think, to an extent, I just had undiagnosed ADHD for fucking years, to the point where it's actually quite severely detrimental to my school life.
All I'm going to say is that I didn't know how fucking mental you were until we started doing this podcast. I've learned so much about you doing this fucking podcast.
You didn't know I was engaged for, like, 3 episodes.
That's true. I didn't know you were fucking colourblind until November.
Yeah.
Now you're fucking telling me that you sit alone in your room making growling noises.
No, it was specifically when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Just like... But it... Yeah, no, like... But it...
I love it. I actually love it.
It just, like... It was a sensation in a part of your body that you don't normally get a sensation from. It's like when you properly just like sniff and you're like, oh yeah, you clearly dislodged something.
My skull felt that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like whenever I hear music or like start to watch TV show, I've always got like a little wobble on my foot or something.
Yeah. I was talking to me while I was talking to my dad the other day. I was saying, for some reason, I seem to be just attracted to fucking mental people.
Yeah.
Like, the more mental someone is, the better the sense of humour is. I think if you've had quite a placid upbringing and you don't really have any weird tics, and you've not really gone through anything as a kid, you're not going to have a sense of humour.
Yeah, no.
And you're not going to be fucked up.
You didn't have to cope with anything.
You've not got like unhealthy coping mechanisms.
Yeah, laughter laughter and jokes is a coping mechanism for so much.
Yeah. It's like the lads that I hang around with at work, like Callum Davis.
Oh.
Fucking mental. The guy's an idiot.
Must have been beaten as a kid. For how funny he is, he must have got hit.
Something's happened to him as a kid. To introduce yourself as, "Hey mate, I'm Callum. I've had sex twice and I've got 2 kids." Something's happened to you as a kid.
Is that implying that he fucked the kids?
I'm not saying that he's fucked his kids, but I'm just saying that as a child, he quite possibly might have banged his head once too many times.
Do you remember Niall?
Niall that worked at
HGS.
I've never met someone so fucking boring in my life.
Boring, but like shouldn't have been. Like, do you remember he had the massive gash on the side of his head?
Yeah.
Like fucking huge. No one else would ask him. Literally, no one would ask him. And I was just sat next to him, like, what happened to your head? And like, he tried to convince me that like some IKEA furniture fell on it. I was like, nah, that didn't happen. No. Someone tried to butcher you, mate. Like, and you're not even funny for it. So
he was.
I ate his apple once, and he got really upset.
I hope that you just took a massive bite out of it. And
no, I ate the entire thing. It was gone, and I lied to him and said it wasn't anywhere, and he went to fucking Pickering about it.
What did he do? Just go on his lunch and leave his apple on his desk, and you just ate it?
Yeah, I think he went out on his first break, and I just ate his apple.
That takes some balls. Because he wasn't a small man.
He wasn't a broad man, though.
He worked out a lot.
Yeah, but it was all glam. No, I don't believe that he had anything going on. I don't think he had the mental capacity to hit anyone.
Oh, he definitely did. He's the type of guy that in a couple of years he's probably going to go on steads. And it's not going to make an ounce bit of difference to his dick. He gave off proper small dick energy.
Yeah, no. Do you remember that he got his hair cut like every week? Every single week he got his hair cut.
I reckon if he'd ever met Hitler, Hitler would have had a fucking hide-on for him.
Did he have blue eyes? Honestly, the colour blindness doesn't affect me too much, but like far away small colours, like from here I can kind of probably tell that your eyes are brown. Like, yeah. It's a safe bet. But like, I actually think I have quite nice eyes up close. From a distance, what colour do you think?
Blue.
Really? I suppose we do have the light shining through. I've always thought that my eyes were brown. I never used to have like a proper up close look at my eyes, but they're actually kind of like a greeny blue. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I can't really tell from here. Unless I look at your right eye, I can maybe see a bit of. Yeah.
Yeah, always thought my eyes were brown. Becca has nice eyes. Becca has very, very nice brown eyes.
I never really take notice of people's eyes.
I don't know. It's like, it's just not something you think about, because you look at someone's eyes so that you're paying attention to what they're saying, and then as soon as you're trying to think about Oh, eye colour. Oh, I'm just ignoring what you're saying.
Yeah, considering, like, especially in our culture, you're supposed to be looking people in the eye while talking to them. I couldn't tell you what my brother's eyes are and my dad's. I think I think my mum's are brown.
I know Becca's eyes are brown.
I couldn't tell you.
And Chris's eyes are brown.
Apparently they're poop brown.
They're not poop brown, they're nice tree chocolatey brown. Shut the fuck up or I'll come upstairs and smack you.
In your eyes.
In your eyes. In the poop eyes.
I'll poke you in your poop eyes.
Oh, right,
yeah.
I'll get on to my topic for the week because I really need the toilet and I don't have too much longer. Yeah, just about cosplay and Comic-Con and how I really like it, but I also fucking hate it.
I've just started following a guy on TikTok who's, I think, well, he must be a cosplayer. Do you remember the film Toy Soldiers?
Do you mean Small Soldiers?
Small Soldiers.
Yes.
He's 3D printing Archer from that film.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And he's having to, like, the head is huge.
Yeah, it's a big head.
He weighed it the other day. It was like 7 pounds.
Oh dear.
He's like, and he was like going through it all. He's like, so I printed the head in different parts.
Yeah.
I've put it all together. And I've had to fill certain bits of it and put it all together.
Yeah.
I put it on, that sorted. But the character, because his shoulders are a lot broader than his waist, he's printed the torso out, but now he's had to do the torso a lot wider than he would normally do, because the bottom of it comes in so much.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like, now the head's too small for the torso, so I'm going to have to reprint the head.
Yeah, it's, There's two ways of looking at it, because I was talking to Becca about this last night. There's a few different options. Like I've got my guitar there actually, finally picked up from my mum's.
Yeah.
My guitar. I painted that. Like I got pretty dedicated. Like there was this one cosplay for Greg Universe from Steven Universe, and I'll show you a picture. Pardon me. So when I was younger, I had long hair. I went as him.
Okay, that makes sense.
And 1 minute. There's the guitar.
Okay.
There's the guitar. I painted the guitar to look like it. I was dedicated enough that my ear piercings match his. What are ear piercings anyway? And I thought, yeah, fuck it, I'll go for that. Made the mistake. If you ever get your ears pierced on both sides, don't get them done on the same day.
Why?
Which side do you sleep on?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Like, I slept for 4 days. No idea how, but cupping my ear like that and sleeping on my hand. Yeah, no, it was a big mistake. I didn't think about it.
No, I wouldn't have thought of that either.
I also then drove home and put my motorbike helmet on.
Ow!
Yeah, no, yeah, I was a fucking idiot. Yeah, no, it's agreed. Don't worry about it. But, like, there's a few ways of doing cosplay. It's like, do you want to go 100%, I want to look like the person on the page, the person from the film, the person from the whatever? Do I want to look like I have been taken from that and put in the real world? Or are you like, I kind of just want to be close enough?
Yeah.
Either's fine. It's like, when I've done cosplay in the past, I tend to go for characters I fit the general silhouette of to some degree. Like I went as Lobo one year. Lobo is a DC character that not many people know about. Even I don't know about him. I googled him. This was like, yeah, close enough. I can do that. Face paint, cool, whatever. But I had long hair at the time. I fit it well enough. I was like, yeah, I can do that. Greg. He was a guy with long brown hair. Spot on, 100% fine. I wouldn't do Superman.
Yeah, cause...
I am not that silhouette. That I have nothing against people that do. It's just I get a lot more out of it for someone can see me from across a room or across the street and go, got it.
Yeah.
I like that aspect of it. Just going, right. Yeah. Whereas the only Spider-Man I would go as is Peter B. Parker.
Yeah.
Because I can wear sweatpants and one shoe and my gut can hang out and it's like, oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
It's fine.
If that's the fucking case, I'm going from as like the fucking sloth from Goonies then.
Yeah. I enjoy cosplay. That my Greg one is the one that I went all out on.
Yeah.
I got piercings. I painted my guitar. All the other aspects were just buying stuff. Like, yes, I could have bought a t-shirt, bought a black t-shirt and painted a yellow star on it. There's no point in doing that. I found one online for like £8. I ordered it, it arrived. Could I have made sandals? Probably not. I bought them, they were like £5. I needed some shorts anyway. I bought some shorts.
That's the thing, there's a lot of money in cross-playing it very well.
Yes, but you have to get to that point, is the issue. And the people who tend to do that are... It's a couple of things. It's either you're attractive enough to start out with that you can get funding in some way.
Yeah.
And then you can hire people. Or you just learn over time. Like Jessica Negri is a very good cosplayer. Her early stuff, it's mostly boob. Like, it's a lot of boob. But then she got better over time, and I think she does a lot of her own stuff. Honestly, I don't know. Your other option is you pretty much do it for a living anyway. Like, there's a guy who works with Adam Savage every now and again on his YouTube channel, Tested, where when I think it was Monster Hunter World was coming out, they made a big Rathalos, which is one of the monsters from the game, but it was like big set piece background, 2D just poster, but they made the front of the monster that would come out. He made that. He does that for a living anyway. He makes props for film, TV, whatever. That's what he does for a living. So of course he can make a Zoidberg cosplay that's perfect. Of course he can do that. So he can get paid to do that if he wanted.
Yeah.
It's just he doesn't. He has his other job.
I can't remember what it's called, but I will find out. It's on Disney at the moment, Disney Plus, and they have like a whole episode dedicated to people going to Comic-Con dressed up, and like I think they follow like 3 people. The first one, it's like her husband does it all the time. She's never really done it, but it's her first time going to Comic-Con dressed up. The other one is like someone that does it all the time and really enjoys it. And like the third one is someone that kind of that's how they get paid. They post a lot of stuff on Instagram. They've got a following, and they do a lot of cosplaying and all that sort of stuff. I'll have to find out what it's called for you. It's an interesting episode.
Yeah, what did I... But yeah, Comic-Con is fun because of the people around.
Yeah.
That's the reason that it's fun. Like, there's been a few occasions where, like, there's an artist that I know of and quite enjoy that's going to be at Manchester Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Like, that's happened a few times. On the odd occasion it has happened, I haven't managed to go and see him, but whatever, it's fine. Comic-Con's fun for the, oh hey, there's a person who's into that thing that I didn't really think anybody else was into. Like, I've never really spoken, none of my friends are into that one TV show that came out 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But there's someone I can talk to them about it and how excited I am, and I can take a picture with them and maybe make friends, whatever. The worst part about Comic-Con is Comic-Con.
What do you mean?
The actual day of going, like, imagine going into town,
Yeah.
but every 3 clothing shops were Primark.
Okay.
Every other bakery was fucking Pound Bakery.
Okay.
Every tattoo studio was the same guy.
Okay.
That's what Comic-Con is. If you look around half of Comic-Con, you've looked around the entire thing. Stalls repeat. Like, it gets sadder and sadder every year, where you can tell, like, okay, that stall and that stall, they have the same supplier. It's the exact same stuff at the same price. This isn't cool handmade stuff. It's the same stuff as that everybody else has. It's just uninteresting. Oh, look, there's 3 fucking stalls in a row all selling Japanese candy and drinks. It's the exact same stuff. Oh, look, there's the same hoodie that I've seen on Amazon. The most interesting part is actually going for, like, the comic vendors who are trying to sell stuff they've written. That's the fun part. But that is such a small bit of it now, because they can charge so much for actual, like, item sellers. It just
ruins it a little bit.
It's the same every year. Like, it's, other than the comic sellers and the artists and stuff, it's almost the same every year, and it gets really sad to go. It's just, like, I like Comic-Con to go to and hang out with people. And be like, oh, hey, you played Devil May Cry. That was really fun. Nice one. Oh, hey, you like that TV show? Can I get a picture? Nice one. Oh, hey, I really like what you've done with this and then you walk around and you're sad and you buy an expensive fucking meal also in Manchester it's kind of like there's a few shops about, but any food places are kind of far away, so it's annoying. Also, I went to Blackpool Comic-Con once. It was in the Winter Gardens. Went in, wandered around for, want to say 45 minutes. Wandered around for 45 minutes. Went, okay, it's still kind of busy. I went with my dad and my sister and my dad's girlfriend's daughter.
Yeah.
We went, oh, should we go get something to eat and come back in? So we went out, got something to eat, walked back, and they went, yeah, we're not letting people back in now.
Why?
We're at capacity. Yeah, no, it was fucking stupid.
Fucking hell.
I'm pretty sure I actually paid to go that time as well. I think it wasn't even a cheap ticket. And that one was a terrible one, because every now and again, I've never been to one, but some Comic-Cons have talks as well. Like at Preston Comic-Con, one year they did it, they had one of the Red Rangers, one of the Red Power Rangers, I think it was the first one, come. That was really cool. I didn't go, because whatever.
No.
But yeah, apparently it was really, really good.
I think we should do our own.
Yeah, sure. We'll rent out a panel. We'll do a panel.
Once we're making bank from this podcast,
yeah,
we'll just call it the Plabicon.
Right. I'm gonna have to call it there because I've got to head off in 15 minutes and I really need the toilet.
Right. Well, we'll pick that up next week. Plabicon.
Plabicon. Yeah. Ta-ra.
Bye.